Hi and welcome to this tutorial on how to work with the word integration available in Aligned Elements. We are going to create a file object and we're going to insert a couple of objects in there. And to figure out what you need to do, of course, you can ask Aligned Elements and see if there's something missing in Word. Now I'm going to verification test cases here, scrolling down to inconsistencies, and I can see that they have an inconsistency that the object has not been added to any file. And this is how you can figure out what has not yet been placed in the document. So I'm going to go to the File Explorer, working with test documents. We're going to create a new verification document. So I can add a new file and let's call it my test plan. I can select either document templates from the predefined folder. I'm going to go with the master test plan as document, or I can also use the normal browse button to browse for document templates locally on my PC. Having done that, I need to save once, and then I can click edit again, and I will see a new button appearing here, open and edit document in Microsoft Word. So let's do that. And while we're working in Microsoft Word, this big dialog is displayed to show us that we will not get automatically locked out of Aligned Elements, because otherwise you have a session timeout after like 30 minutes. And if we're hiding our browser window with the Word application, we might miss the warning as well. So as long as that dialog is open, you will have access to Aligned Elements and you will not get kicked out. We have a Word document opening here, and everything on the left hand side is as you kind of know it already. It's from the template that we selected, and you probably have something similar within your company. So you can type whatever you want here in all of these sections and add sections and just go for it. Here we see that we should place some content in here, so I'm going to do that. And there are two different ways of placing content in a document. Either if I just like cherry pick a number of user needs here and place them in the document by using the actions button, insert objects. They will be in the document and Aligned Elements we know about them, but there's also a different way of inserting objects, and that is by using the whole chapter structure. And then Aligned Elements would know if you're adding or removing objects, adding, removing subchapters, and would also incorporate that in any future synchronization. So I'm just going to find somewhere where I can place all my test cases here. I'm going to kick out this chapter and select my complete verification test case section here, and then I will have all of the objects and all of the chapters. And if anyone would add a new verification test case to this structure, that would also be included in any future synchronization of the documentation. Here we go. Once again, action, insert objects, and they're going to be placed in the document where I placed the cursor before. So they display neatly, and we also of course adhere to the chapter structure here. Functional requirements, pre-treatment, couple of objects, treatment, and so forth. Exactly what we actually set up here in the structure of the project. Now, the way they look when they are placed in the document, that's also part of the templating that we set up in the beginning of a project. So the style, if it's table, if it's bold, if it's something else, and all the type of data that we display, that's also predefined by a little Word template that is matched with this type of object verification test case. Objects can of course be included in multiple documents, but they can only be included once per document. So I cannot insert verification test case 4 here in other locations in this document. This does not apply for trace information, but that's going to be in a separate tutorial. Now, when I'm done with my document, I can save it back up to the server. Please use this save button from the add-in. That's the only way that Aligned Elements understand that you want it back up to the server. The regular save from Word or the autosave only saves it locally to the machine. That's not what we're interested in. And when I've done so, it's telling me that I can close Word and return to my browser. So I'll do that. I don't have to save a local copy because it's already saved to the server. I'm done editing, and this is a new updated last modified date, and that was me doing that. And I can say that I added some objects to that file, and I will get a new file document object revision here. Now, if I download the file from this link, not being in edit mode, I can of course look at the Word document, but I cannot edit it. I don't get this option of having this add-in on the right hand side, and there's no way to get it back up to the project either. So this is for read only or for distributing and things like that. So that's good to understand, that if you're trying to do that but you don't get the add-in, remember, click edit, and then you can go on the edit for the file. We now placed a number of objects in the file, and I can see that here in this little record for the file document object. We have placed some user needs, we have placed verification test cases in here. Now let's go back to one of the verification test cases and see if the inconsistency is gone. Let's go for that. I'm just going to pick one that I know that I placed in the document, and down in the inconsistency list we can see that it's not claiming to be missing in a file object. It's been placed in the file object. And if you want to figure out where it's actually at, go to the actions button and say find in file, and it will be highlighted where it's actually at. It's in my test plan that we just created.